Okay, you just got access to your roster of students. How do you learn all their names? Hello, EdFamily. I shared how in the district I work in, there's a real emphasis on knowing students by name, needs, assets, stories, and passion. What a great goal, right? Well, the hard part is sometimes we have large class sizes. In a typical year, I might have 34 students in a class and teach about 6 periods, and so that's about, over 200. I think that's 204. And I certainly don't have the largest class sizes either. I know some of you may have class sizes that are actually much larger depending on what class you're teaching and what district you are in. So how do we get to know the names of our students? Many teachers I know have a pretty phenomenal memory. They remember the names of their students and their personal details. And teachers are really amazing. Unfortunately, I don't have that gift. I really struggle with remembering names, and this is despite the fact I know it's important and I'm trying. So here are some things I've done over the years to help myself. Most obvious might be creating a seating chart, student name, tent cards, personal inventories, or some type of get to know you or memory game. I've done this, many teachers do this, but for me, I need something even more. I shared in a previous EdFamily episode about inviting students to share their story. Well, this begins with their names and could include the meaning of their name and actually the story behind their name. I found that many students, when they have an opportunity to talk to their parents, they're learning that for the very first time. Names hold a lot of power. Just look at Harry Potter. Remember there was that person who was referred to, you know who, or he who must not be named? I'm a second generation Korean American. While talking about names, I was actually reminded of occupied Korea in the early 1900s, where there was an effort made to eradicate the language and culture of the Korean people. And that included giving the young people new names, renaming them. So names are important. One approach I value is equity cards, where students share a little bit about themselves. On a 3x5 card, you can collect the cards, and it forms kind of like a deck of cards of students. When you're about to pull a name from the card, it creates positive anticipatory stress, and the student definitely doesn't feel invisible in your class anymore. In a future episode, I may discuss how I use these cards to encourage student talk as well. Another approach, which I've shared in a previous EdFamily episode, was inviting your student to tell their story. Basically, students create their equity card on a Google slide. And on this slide, students create a collage of themselves where they shared their name, family, hobbies, things like that, whatever it is that the students want to share with the class. Students might share about themselves to one another in the class, to groups that they work with, and also have an opportunity to record a screencast in addition to present live in front of the class. When all the slides are merged together, it kind of creates a Google slide deck. And once that lesson is taught in your class, you still have the cards, you still have the Google slides. And sometimes what I'll do is I'll refer back to the slides and review what the students shared. Oftentimes, I may need to connect to that student's family or with that student or attend an IEP. And it's sometimes helpful to review that slide as well to remember some personal details. For students and their family, it makes a big difference that their student is known. I mean, I don't think anyone's done this, but imagine attending a meeting and saying, "Do I know you?" Okay, teachers wouldn't say that, but sometimes we might have that look on our face where we don't have all the answers, right? Now imagine attending that same meeting, but being able to refer to hobbies and details about the student and their family. Immediately you will see their facial expressions ease, their body relax because they feel known and cared for. I know this may sound obvious, but knowing a person's name helps us to see them as a person. So what is your plan to remember the names of your students? Is there something you do that really works for you? If so, please be sure to put that in the comments as well. Love to learn from others in our Ed family. And if this video gave you an idea in your mind of how you might remember the names of your students coming in, please be sure to hit that like button. There'll also be more videos coming in throughout the year, so if you found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe. This is Dr. Kim at EdFamily, signing out.